It is Thanksgiving. I am thankful to have one guy as an early friend of the program here at Greenlight, Stanford Steve. He's kind enough to join us. Steve, how we doing?
Excellent. Best day, one of the best days of the year here, Chris.
I'm about to
One of the
find that
best.
out. Me and Macon joked. Well, it wasn't for my entire career. I hated the fall. Thanksgiving, not a big deal to me. Christmas, not a big deal to me. Because my family, since I was a kid, we moved Christmas and Thanksgiving. We were like doing fake Thanksgivings 2 days later, Christmas a day early.
Yep.
I didn't think it was so weird until I would get to school and I'd be wishing kids like Merry Christmas. And it's like after Christmas break. But yeah, I mean, this is fall is winning me over, and so is the holiday week.
It's the best, man. Tomorrow, I know you got a big game on Friday that you're gonna get. You got to get stretched out for, and you got to get taped up Thursday night. But tomorrow, sit on your ass and don't do a goddamn thing, and just take it all in.
And
it's
for the people
awesome.
listening, tomorrow is today, because me and Steve, believe it or not, although we are content machines, we got shit to do on Thanksgiving. We're recording this on Wednesday, and the lines will be reflective of that. So
Okay.
on Thanksgiving, I can't wait to truly wake up. And I got my entire family here. My brother Kyle's back. My brother Howie's coming in tonight. Now, the downside of Thanksgiving is all the logistics is what I'm discovering, is like holidays are a bit stressful because of that.
Okay.
Who are you going to be with?
You do kind of have a big ass family, and you got a lot of big ass dudes.
Yeah.
So like that's a lot of shit that the women got to figure out. But you
Yep.
just let the women do that and don't move, and just hey honey, I need another one. Bring
Yeah.
it.
Do you I try to look busy generally in when it comes to like any large function. Like, do you have any tips or techniques that you give me for looking busy?
Don't be selfish. It's your house. Get your seat and don't let anyone sit in it. That's yours.
So it had nothing to do with standing next to my dad while he does the dishes, as he does
It's
religiously. or
family,
carving.
man. It's all help yourself. Everybody knows where everything is. Don't feel bad about anything. You got to enjoy yourself.
You're like my Thanksgiving shaman.
That's me.
I mean, you are really helping me. I mean, one thing I'm really bad at is carving the turkey. Is that something I should be concerned about?
No.
Okay, so it's not essential that I know how to carve a turkey.
No.
Okay, good.
It's not a pumpkin.
No, but I mean, my granddad, God rest his soul, back in the day, he used to be the turkey carve guy. And I know some dudes, there's like a spectrum of dudes that do a lot in the kitchen on Thanksgiving, and then dudes that are like, I just lay back because my wife is terrific and my mom, they're terrific at chefing up the greatest meal on earth.
Yeah.
If I get in the way, it's a lose-lose. I could screw the meal up.
That's what I always say. I always say, hey, I will make sure the coolers have ice, and the coolers have ice.
Good.
Ice will be in the coolers.
So
That's
there will be ice in the coolers at the Stanford Steve household. Let's get to tomorrow's games right off the bat, because they're not necessarily going to be our locks, but people are watching this. And again, Thursday's games. Let's get to Thursday's games off the bat. People are going to be watching, and they want to know, do you have any leans in any of the games? I have leans in all three.
Well, when you're talking about different games than me, because to me, there's only one game on Thursday, and that's the Egg Bowl, because these two fucking schools hate each other more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a brawl. There's a brawl every year.
Mm-hmm.
It happens out of the most inopportune time. The game last year or 2 years ago was ugly, and the game totally was affected by it. But I like Ole Miss at night in the Egg Bowl in Starkville. Like I said, the hatred. I'm a little biased because I just went to Oxford.
Well, yeah, you're an adopted son. You're one of Oxford's newest sons.
They're playing better, and Mississippi State, bunch of rumors. It feels like it's a bad locker room. The coach is rumored to go to Rutgers. Like, I just feel like Ole Miss is peaking a little bit, and I like him. I'll take the points in a hatred game. I love this weekend because it's based on hatred, and including your school.
Yeah, there's a lot of hatred. The hatred has been two-sided with the Commonwealth Cup, but the dominance has definitely been one-sided. I'll do the pros. I have my biggest lean of the week or of Thanksgiving is probably the Saints Falcons under. Right now you can get it at 48.5. You can find it at 49. I don't know what you got it at, but I think whatever you do, if it's 48.5, you buy the half point. I'm a big half point guy. Whatever you think about that. It's actually worked out well for me when it comes to lines, but over and unders, I heard you shouldn't buy a half point. I think, because I think 5 out of the 6 last games or 1 out of the last 5 games rather has actually exceeded 50 points between these two teams. I
Yeah.
think on a short week, they're both banged up, and although Drew looked great in Carolina, that's a physical ball game and it is a short week, and Atlanta, I think in general, if I had a lean on the line, which is -7, I would lean Saints to cover, even though I think the recency bias in looking at that Atlanta Saints slugfest that turned into a 27 to
Hmm.
9 loss for the Saints. I think the Saints are getting well, and I think the Falcons are coming back down to earth after that little mini run that was like, okay, we shuffled some coaches, etc.
Yeah.
I like the under, and if I had a lean, I like the Saints.
I feel like the Saints are due for a bust out. Like they righted the ship. Teddy did as well as he could when he was in there, and they just, you thought they were going to go here when Drew came back, and they haven't done that to me anyway. I'm expecting more from them
And that's
because they're
yeah, and to your point, that's not what happens immediately. I don't know if that's the point you're making, but to me, you can't assume. I think in general, we all look at it and you're like, okay, Drew's back off of thumb surgery. It's not even like
yeah.
an ankle or something like that's fully healed. Like this is his throwing hand, and I think in general, the rhythm of an offense when you deal with one quarterback for a while, and that's what made Teddy's um, entrance even more impressive, is that he was able to establish the norms of their timing, and the team was able to adjust to what he does so quickly. It hadn't happened as quickly the other way. And I'm not saying Drew's not playing well. I'm just saying that, to your point, I think the breakouts do. I think it happens this weekend. Bills and boys, I will actually make the Bills one of my locks. I'm gonna buy.
Oh.
I'm gonna buy a half a point to get to 7. Allen's played his best 2-game stretch of ball in a while, albeit
Hmm.
it hasn't been like they've been beating impressive teams in general. But a short week, and Jera laid down the gauntlet for no fucking reason on Jason Garrett, as if that's the game you're going to pick. New England's won 21 straight games at home. You go up there in the
Exactly.
rain, and what do you think's going to happen? I mean, get mad after all these other losses. I think him laying that gauntlet down was irresponsible in a short week. I think that Cowboys are known to overwork their players. I don't love them. I don't know the stats on how they do with Thanksgiving games. I think the Bills, that's a lot of points even at home.
Yeah. I honestly thought about that Patriots Cowboys game and Jared doing his whole thing and why everybody's mad. Everybody's mad because the world had the Patriots and Garrett kicked the field goal and covered the game. And that's why everyone is double mad at Garrett. And now that's why he's getting on the seat. What do you think about that?
Well, I think there's a theory to be had there. Full disclosure, I had them in a teaser.
Of course you did.
Tease Master Chris here. I had them in a teaser that I got the Dolphins at 17.5. I bought the half point to my point. They end up losing. It's
Hmm.
right on that. And actually they cover for me and they keep me alive for that second half of the Sunday half of the teaser. And easily the Cowboys, I think it was like plus like 9 or 14, I think I
Yeah.
had it at. So I like your theory. I think it's weird to get mad at yourself, essentially. That's what
I,
Jerry's doing. You've condoned
I
this
don't get it.
for a decade.
Yeah. I don't get it.
Um,
I really don't.
so yeah, that would be one of my locks. And then in in
Okay.
in the next NFL game, I actually like the Lions. The Bears are very public pick right now. Um, and since week 9 against the Lions, that's the only time they've covered in the last 7 games. I
Look at you got these stats. This is
Yeah.
good, man.
Yeah,
You're getting
I
better.
Google. I'm
You're hitting.
getting
What did we week 13. You're hitting your stride.
Well, the thing is, yeah, and I'm hitting my stride when it comes to the bank account too in actuality, but but before I was doing this whole thing where I just judge off football, and that's why football players. So now I'm
Yeah.
starting to look at some of the trends, which I used to think was silly because you're like, this game is happening in a vacuum. But
Yeah.
these are real trends. There's a reason the people with the computers do them. I also like the under. The highest total, they've had recently was 36, and that was the Lions. So you can get that, I believe, at 38 or something right now. I like the under. I like the Lions at 3.5, getting 3.5 points at home on Thanksgiving. 2 out of 3 of the Driscoll starts have been under. Of course, the one being the Cowboys that they lit up the scoreboard a little bit.
Yeah. Good luck with that game. I don't know. I mean, I heard Driscoll was questionable. I wasn't sure if he practiced, and then possibly that was going to be David Blau, who's from Purdue,
Yeah.
who I liked at Purdue, but I'm not sure he's an NFL quarterback. And on the other side, you know what that offense is. But yeah, the public's going to be all over the Bears because they've scored a couple touchdowns recently, and
Couple, yeah.
people love betting the Bears.
They were up 19-7 against the fucking Giants, and people were like, "Where's this offense been?" I'm like, "What the fuck do you mean, dude?"
Did you watch the first half?
Jeez, they will jump out of the gym at the slightest pump fake in Chicago.
Man.
So yeah, I mean, like none of these are our locks except for me, the Bills getting 7 on the road against Dallas. If I had a lean, I like the over-unders in the Saints and the Lions games more than the lines. But that Lions is at 3.5 is weird, but the Bears being very public. Let's get to our locks. You want to start with Saturday's slate for your 3 locks?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Saturday because one of the games Ole Miss is one of my picks, but I'm gonna give people more. I just want to try and give them more. It's Thanksgiving, I want to be plentiful.
Yeah.
Obviously, everyone's gonna be watching the Iron Bowl. It's Auburn, it's Alabama. The game absolutely fascinates me. It is not one of my top 3 favorite matchups to watch this weekend, but it is just fascinating to me in the regards of what is Auburn going to do against Mac Jones, the quarterback of Alabama. To me, I've been talking about it with people all week, Chris, and I'd love to get your take. You have a quarterback who's played against 2 god-awful high school defenses. Now he comes in against what I think is the best defense in the country. I honestly do think Auburn has the best defense in the country. They got some war dogs up front. They can cover in the secondary. And my favorite thing about them is they tackle in space. So if I'm Auburn, I'm playing up, I'm playing press, and I'm trying to make the quarterback, Jones, beat me with throws instead of trying to get heat on and playing like zone behind it, where those receivers who are the best unit in the country, where they could just run the open areas and the throws are easier. I want the quarterback to have to make tough throws, and that's what I see Auburn doing. You agree?
I agree. I do. I like playing up on those guys, and I like making him make decisions after the snap rather than reading something pre-snap and predetermining this is where your hot is or whatever. I like making a guy make decisions in real time who has played, to your point, some questionable defenses, and this is anything but that. In fact, Auburn getting 3.5 is one of my college locks of the week.
Okay, I'm going to go on the under. I think 24 points wins the game, so it's under 50.5. I will take the under in the Iron Bowl. Nothing better than watching the biggest game of the weekend and having the under.
Well, I mean,
I love putting pain on myself. So
yeah, no problem. As if the holiday weekend isn't stressful enough. I'm gonna do UVA in the money line. I'm gonna will this to happen, and we can get into UVA in a second.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of things going on in my brain. 15 straight. They are. We've had trouble running the ball. They're very good stopping the run. Bud Foster's last couple games here. We are 5th in time of possession, but the key is we got to finish when we get in the red zone. We go on these long drives. What we can't do is come up with no points. And this feels like a game where that could happen. So everything I'm telling you sounds like tech, but I'm going to take Virginia in the money line. I will be there in person.
No big deal. Here's the thing. If you play well, you're going to win.
Yep.
Okay. Now, we talked about Virginia last week. Tough spot against Liberty. You liked them. Somebody that doesn't show up for the show all the time talked you off of them, and we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, but I locked it here. It's me not betting on my locks again. It's just
it happens. Sometimes it's a weekly occurrence. Sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
But I think Virginia Tech last week against Pitt, that was the ultimate Virginia Tech ugly ass win. They played a terrible offense, but their defense gets talked about because Bud Foster, it's his last game at Lane Stadium, blah, 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 blah. Virginia's a better team. Virginia Tech's offense is not good. Virginia plays well. Perkins takes care of the football. I love that Bronco defense and how they seem to keep everything in front of you. Like I said, the Tech offense is not going to wow you. You play well, you should win. I do not understand the live movement. I talked to you about it all week. I can't believe Virginia went from a favorite to being almost a field goal underdog.
I would get that if we put up a stinker against Liberty, but this is a game that you and I both talked about. Good quarterback, Hugh Freeze, talented group, talented wide receiver there.
Yep.
And traditionally, this is a game, especially before Tech, that we don't show up. This is a team that's focused. And here's the thing about Bryce Perkins. Bryce Perkins is one of my favorite players that has played at Virginia. and he hasn't left the field yet. If he beats Tech, he'll be my favorite fucking player of all time to wear a Virginia uniform. Basketball, football, whatever.
Whoa, Kyle Guy, he's gonna jump him?
Yes, I'm sorry, Kyle. Listen, and Kyle Guy loves football. He would agree with me. Hey,
breaking
Steve,
news sound alert. We need
Steve,
a breaking news sound alert.
I watched Bryce Perkins all year do dumb shit that's born out of toughness, like staying in bounds, staying up, trying to create, like, and you love him, you love his heart, you love his tenacity, but you're like, don't get hurt, man, like, because if we don't have you, we have nothing. Now, this is a game you burn the fucking ships. You burn the ships, and we're going to erase 15 years of misery here. That's in 2003, George Bush was president. Fucking, like, the last Concorde was still flying around in the air. We talked about it. Like, you know who won the Super Bowl in 03?
Oh, Patriots.
No, it wasn't the Patriots, and neither do I. But I looked it up the other day, and it wasn't the Patriots. The Spurs beat the fucking Nets in the NBA Finals. That's how long it's been, bro. Do you remember that stuff? Like, we have a whole generation of kids that grew up without beating Tech, and I still have these dumbass Tech fans sitting on a hay bale in there with their iPhone 4s, fucking tweeting me about. Like, I've won 2 Super Bowls. Like, you think I personally care? What I want this for is the fan base. I want this for the kids. I want this for Bronco. Burn the fucking ships. Let's sack up and beat these motherfuckers.
One other thing.
Yeah.
You need good Bryce, not bad Bryce.
And you're right. You're absolutely right. But this is the game. And those kids standing over Bryce last year at the end of the game, the taunting. I know that's part of the rivalry. I want to see that shit flipped. And I will be oiled up at the stadium, if you will. I will be oiled up. I'm going to be tailgating early in the morning. Let's go.
I love it. It's why this weekend is the best. It's hatred. It's hatred. And I know people don't like to say, my mom always used to tell me, don't use the word hate. I'm sorry.
Can use it in college
These teams
football.
hate each other. All right.
Yes. I want to say I do respect. There's a weird time to say it. I respect Bud Foster. I've always respected him. And
absolutely.
I told Macon the other day, he's definitely not a friend of the program, but if he ever wanted to, pop up to Charlottesville and sit in this chair, I'd love to interview him. I mean, Frank Beamer was a guy I had the, who's obviously not coaching there anymore, but I was on the banquet circle with him. Listen, there's people I respect at Tech. I mean, I do respect Tech, but I just don't want to hear the shit talk anymore. So do you have a third game you like, or have you even gotten to your second?
No, I'll make this quick, okay? I have my 2 other picks. I get the under in the Iron Bowl. My 2 other picks are the same reasoning. Maryland's quit on the season. Rutgers quit on the season. Michigan State has no business giving 22, but we're going to give 22 against Maryland.
Wow.
Take Michigan State. Penn State giving 40 to Rutgers. I know it sounds crazy. James Franklin is going to score 80 if he could score 80. All right? He's a guy that loves being in the spotlight. This game is on the Big Ten Network. 3:30 is Minnesota and Wisconsin. Iron Bowl. He's going to be mad that no one's watching his game. He's going to try to score as many touchdowns as possible because he wants all live cut-ins to those big games, talking about how Penn State's going to score as many points as possible. Take Penn State, take Michigan State.
I sense a little disdain for the James Franklin show.
No.
He definitely wants the
opportunity.
attention on Penn State.
Absolutely. And he thrives in these situations. He punches scores in more than anyone I've ever seen, and it's awesome as a gambler. So kudos to him.
Good.
One other thing.
Yeah.
You talked about respecting Virginia Tech. I just wanted to mention my favorite game of the weekend is because these 2 teams don't respect each other, and they hate each other, and it's Louisville and it's Kentucky.
Yeah.
Watch a little of that game at noon on Saturday. It's awesome.
It's an underrated little brawl there. And as you said, the Maryland thing is more of an indictment on Maryland than it's on Michigan State. Last week I was very tepid would be the word. I was apprehensive about betting a team that I didn't think was very good in Nebraska in College Park, giving 6 or 7 on the road. I ended up
we gave you that one.
Chickening out and taking like the money line or something. But man, oh man, that was ugly.
Yeah.
They certainly have quit.
Yep. So that's what I got for this.
Now Sunday.
What time's the tailgate start?
The tailgate.
They allow you in the lot.
As soon as my lovely wife Meg will allow me to leave the domicile, and I say I love you to my kids. And Dad has got to go drink cold beer all day. Uh, and
You gotta do Marty Smith. You gotta do Marty Smith. One cold beer is one word. Cold beer.
Cold beer. Marty, shout
One
out to
word.
Marty Smith. So I'll give you my
Speaking of Virginia Tech, yikes.
yeah, I know.
Uh-oh. Sorry.
Yeah, it was a weird time. So on Sunday, here are the games I like. I already mentioned that I like the Bills getting 7 on the road.
Mhm.
I like the Green Bay under at 46. I had to buy a half point to get there, but you could get it depending on where you are. And I think the line might continue to move down because I think people are catching on to the fact that Aaron, and I talked about it on the show yesterday, Aaron is not as good on the road. I mean, he hasn't been as good on the road in the playoffs. He hasn't been as good on the road. And not a normal deviation. It's been more than you think. And I think this is, you talk about letdown games. After that ass kicking, they could do one or two things. They get mad and go beat up on the Giants. I don't think so. I think when you play on the West Coast, then on the East Coast, I don't see Daniel Jones having a big day against this pass rush in the secondary. So the points will be down. I don't think Green Bay lights it up on the scoreboard either.
All right, watch out for the weather up there too.
Yeah, exactly. And then additionally, I'm going to will the Cincinnati Bengals to either win a game or lose in heartbreaking fashion. Getting 4 points at home, you've got the Red Rocket coming back. This is a team that's been close a lot this year. And I kind of wonder, are they tanking? Are they not tanking? The Andy Dalton coming back, I don't know if they're driving his trade value up, but they're trying to win a game. And the Jets have been playing too damn good. It's about time they come back down to earth.
All right, I'm rooting for Sammy D there, but maybe he could win and not cover, and then you cover with the Bengals.
That'd be fine. I got friends with the Jets, so
okay, no problem, no hard feelings.
Yeah, Joe Douglas, fucking Sam Darnold. Not my friend, but I'm a mono survivor, so I root for him.
There you go. Mono survivor.
Greg Williams.
Raiders.
Greg Williams is my boy. All right, go ahead.
Raiders plus the points in Kansas City. Don't, the rule of NFL gambling, don't remember what you saw last week. I'm going to do that with the Raiders. The Eagles need a win more than anybody in the league. I think they go to Miami. It's just what the doctor ordered. A little warm weather, get that offense cooking. Carson, get everybody off his back. I'll lay the 9 there. And my man Nick Foles got to get a win as a Jaguar, man. Enough's enough. I'll take the Jags in that one. I have a question for you before I go.
Yeah.
I have 3 daughters. I brought the 2 older ones to Frozen yesterday.
Yeah.
I paid for the ticket next to us so nobody would sit next to us.
Mm-hmm.
Am I a bad dad?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Okay.
You're a great dad. Are you kidding me? It's a great idea. I'm going to start doing it. I might start doing it just for my own personal enjoyment.
I've done it before for myself when I go to the movies alone by myself.
That's a life hack, and I do bring like Smart Pop in. Like if I'm feeling really good, I might go get some traditionally buttered popcorn. But I used to go and get a big jumbo tub of popcorn and drink a 46-ounce Dr. Pepper. And this was back in the day when I didn't know like caffeine was in half the colas. I don't deal with caffeine, so I get home, I'd feel like shit. I'd be buzzing, from the caffeine. I didn't even know what happened to me. So this is a great life tip here, a life hack.
Yes.
Buy the seats next to you.
Absolutely.
Bring in your own popcorn as well. That's a big one for me. These rivalries, what was the Stanford rivalry that most people don't realize you hated another team?
Notre Dame.
But people think of that traditionally.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, all the California schools, SC's tough, really tough, man. When you're going out to the Coliseum, you're coming out of the tunnel and that fucking dog is shitting all over and you got to walk around the horse shit fucking Traveler, that fucking horse.
The fucking
God,
horse.
that sucked. Because I was a long snapper too, so I'm one of the first guys out of the tunnel. I'm like, God damn it. Every year this fucking horse shitting all over the place.
Smells like Bourbon Street.
And they're still playing in that shithole of the Coliseum. I don't know how the NFL guys do that shit, man. That place sucks.
You know what's funny is I rank that as one of my favorite stadiums. And that pod's going to drop this weekend, but that stadium to me is to your point, it's shitty. But all you have to do, here's a life hack for stadiums, just put a fucking flame in the end zone. You put a flame in the end zone, it's cool as shit. Like I'll be playing in that game.
Great call.
Just put a flame. I mean, like you could play in a dump. You could play in a parking lot. Put a cool looking flame that makes the place look important. and iconic.
You know what? You're going to find this to happen too as you get older, and this has definitely happened to me at the Coliseum because we have one of our best wins ever at Stanford was there. We had a huge comeback, but I've been there so many times now with work and dealing with the fucking traffic
Yeah.
and all the bullshit outside. Like dudes, I remember in college, dudes drove their cars down, like the walk-ons and stuff that didn't travel.
Yeah.
Drove down, got their cars broken into, all that shit around the Coliseum. That stuff starts to wear on you. So it is. I mean, the fight song, you fucking hear it nonstop the whole goddamn game if they're winning and they're beating you. So yeah, put SC on that list.
Yeah, you definitely seem to be. The undercover hatred is for USC, and for me, it's Maryland, as you know. Not that like, listen, I had some of my best moments against Maryland.
Maryland or Maryland fans?
It's just the whole thing, the whole operation.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of the crash test dummy looking ass helmets. The field is always empty.
Their flag is the worst flag in the world.
Terrible flag.
Why are there so many colors?
No reason. You're not that important as a state. Like, just pick 2 colors. Stop burning cars and trash cans when you win something. I mean, like, it's just their best alum is one of my favorite people in the world in Scott. But
yeah,
fuck. I mean, after him, it's like Torrey Smith, and I love Torrey, but I can't think of too many others that I really care for. Anyways, I also ranked me and Macon ranked best uniforms in rivalry weekend combos now. Do you have a combo that you look forward to seeing every year, and is there one that you hate from this rivalry weekend?
Well, I talked about it last week, the SC UCLA where they both wear the home jerseys. It's unbelievable. Oh man, that's a good question.
I'll do mine and you grade them. And so for me, it's Iowa on the road against Nebraska, very classic.
Yep.
Michigan, Ohio State, but I want that at the shoe.
Okay, see, I think Michigan's got to go back to the gold pants.
Wow. Okay.
They suck. They suck under Harbaugh on the road with white pants.
I think it has more to do with other things than the pants.
Okay.
Another one I love is the Civil War. I think it's kind of underrated, bro.
Mm-hmm. It's awesome.
Is it not?
It's the ultimate big brother, little brother, man. Like all that Nike money. And now listen, Nike's done Corvallis pretty good, but just go to the campuses, man. Eugene and Corvallis.
Yeah.
It's pretty eye-opening. Like,
yeah,
you didn't think a state is possible of 2 places that are that different, and they're not at all far from each other. That's the crazy thing.
Maryland doesn't even have an opportunity. I think University of Maryland's the only fucked up option you have in that state. So there's no. I mean, Virginia Tech campus looks like a large prison.
Are we wearing good uniforms this week?
We are in the all blues. My favorite is the all whites. But that's okay.
You guys have stepped, even though you can't fucking beat Virginia Tech, you guys have stepped up the uniform game.
We couldn't beat Virginia Tech. It all changes this week. Steve, thank you for hyping me up and telling me Virginia you think objectively is a better team than Virginia Tech. I needed that. And let's root for the Who's. I will root for the Cardinal this week.
All right.
That's a deal.
Texas OU when Texas wears the home jerseys.
Oh, Texas OU when Texas wears the – yeah, I agree there. The one I can't watch, though, is in the Big 12. It is Bedlam at Stillwater. It's just dog shit.
Oh, well, you get that this week. Great.
I'm not going to watch it. I don't care how good the game is. It's just disgusting. That stadium's disgusting. They screw orange and black up. I don't like what's going on with the logo.
A lot of teams do.
Oregon State does not.
Sometimes they do.
Okay. Well,
there you go back to the old Beaver.
That's for another segment. Go back to the old Beaver. All right. Well, happy Thanksgiving to you. We're wishing all the gamblers out there a happy Thanksgiving. I know this enhances your holiday week. So go win some bets. Thank you, Steve.
All right, my man. Anytime. Have a good weekend. Have a great tailgate.
Thanks, brother. Pray for me.